Hi there everybody, Ollie here, aka Secret Nimbus here, another episode of Magic Duels. So for today's episode, we're going to be doing our first deck tech since the expansion, so I'm fairly happy with this deck. I've been playing it a reasonable amount, I've been playing around with it quite a bit, been brewing quite a bit, and I'm fairly happy with it. So we're going to be playing with a mono-white humans deck. Humans are pretty powerful in this version of the game. I mean, I'm probably going to be playing around with some of the either the blue, white or the green, white humans at some point as well. So we'll see how that goes, but for now we're just going to be running mono white. So let's start off with, so we've got Kytheon, who is obviously the unflipped version of Gideon, which we can get to pretty easily. So it's a nice 2-1 body for 1 mana, which we can also make indestructible and turn into his Planeswalker form. We've then got the 3 Expedition Envoys, so a nice 1 mana 2-1. So we've got essentially got 4 Expedition Envoys with 1 with the possibility of flipping it to Gideon. We've then got the Hanweir Militia Captain, so this card's great. So if you can get 4 creatures down by like turn 3, something like that, it flips, providing it hasn't been eaten by removal, which is fairly common. This is one of those cards which does tend to eat removal pretty easily, but if you can get it to flip, it suddenly becomes Westvale Cult Leader, where its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control, and then it keeps spawning 1/1 white and black human cleric creature tokens at the end of my step, so it essentially keeps buffing itself every turn on its own. So it's a great card for 2 mana. Thalia's Lieutenant is one of the other kind of the human lords introduced in Shadows over Innistrad. So it's a 2 mana 1/1, so nothing too special there, but when it comes onto the battlefield, you can put a 1/1/1 counter on each other human you control. So every single creature in this deck, bar this Bygone Bishop here, is a human. So yeah, this also includes tokens, which is pretty sweet as well. So if you manage to drop some tokens in there, that also counts. But also, after you've dropped it, whenever you play a human or any other human, including tokens, enter the battlefield, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Thalia's Lieutenant, which is absolutely amazing. So it's just a really nice card. So it can get pretty big. I mean, this Hanweir Militia Captain and the the Pious Evangel are like my trifecta of humans. Once I've explained what Pious Evangel does, so if you can have all 3 of those, the flip version of Hanweir Militia Captain, the Thalia's Lieutenant, and a Pious Evangel on the battlefield, you've basically got like an unstoppable trifecta of cards at that point. Next we've got the Knight of the White Orchid. This was a fairly late addition to the deck. So it is a double white card, but because we're playing mono white, we don't really care too much about that anyway. So it's a 2/2 first striker, pretty nice. But also, if our opponent's got more lands than we have, and we're mana screwed, for example. So say we've only got two mana, we've got Knight of the White Orchid. It allows us to fetch up that 3rd planes and potentially kind of push us further on. So it's just a nice mana fixing card, especially for a mono white deck like this. We've then got Consul's Lieutenant, another double white card. Again, we're mono white, we don't care about these double white spells. So it's a 2/1 first striker, so pretty similar to the Knight of the White Orchid in terms of its power. It's also Renown 1, so when it connects with the opponent's face, it gets pumped up +1/+1. Also, it's able to buff all our other creatures +1/+1 every time it swings, which is quite nice. So it's a good utility card, this one. So with its first strike, Renown, and its pump up ability, it's what do people call them? It's anthems. That's what I'm looking for. It's anthem ability, so its ability to buff all my other creatures. Bygone Bishop's a nice card, so it's a 3 mana 2/3 flyer. So whenever we play one of our creature spells with converted mana cost 3 or less, which is most of our creatures, we get to investigate, so we put clue tokens down. These clue tokens also work quite well with Angelic Purge, which is one of our removal spells in the deck, or one of our only removal spells in the deck. It's very powerful though, so you can basically use Angelic Purge, sacrifice a clue token, which we might not necessarily use to actually draw cards, and we don't have to get rid of our mana or our creatures in that regards. Pious Evangel is a nice card, so it's a 3 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, we get to gain a life. Whenever any other creature enters the battlefield, we gain a life. So again, if you've got the flip version of Hanweir Militia Captain, generating one of those tokens every turn, then you're essentially gaining life from this every turn. Plus, you can also sacrifice it to turn it into Wayward Disciple. So whenever another creature we control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and we gain 1 life, so it's quite a nice life drain card in that regards as well. We've then got Dauntless Cathar. So this is, again, it's a bit of a late addition. So it's a 3 mana 3/2, so it's a reasonable body. But also when it dies, we can bring it back essentially as a 1/1 white spirit creature token. And then yeah, So it just essentially allows us to keep up our bodies on the field, which we can keep swinging with, especially as it's got flying as well. Always Watching is one of those cards which basically makes a White Weenies deck unstoppable. So we've got lots of our low cost creatures. Say you've played, I don't know, Expedition Envoy or Kytheon on turn 1. On turn 2 you've played maybe another Expedition Envoy or maybe something like a Consul's Lieutenant. Turn 3 you drop Always Watching, and suddenly all your creatures that you've played in turns 1 and 2 have +1/+1 and Vigilance. Or even if you've, for example, played 2 Expedition Envoys on turn 2 and a Kytheon on turn 1, you suddenly got 3 3/2s with Vigilance. That is absolutely crazy. We've got Hope Against Hope, so it's an aura which basically pumps up a creature +1/+1 for each other creature we control. Plus, if it's a human, it gains First Strike. So, you know, we're running pretty much 90% humans as our creatures, so it's almost guaranteed to have First Strike. Angelic Purge, great removal. So it's kind of, this has replaced Angelic Edict in the fact that it's a 3-mana exile, so target artifact, creature or enchantment. Unfortunately, you do have to sacrifice a permanent, but you can sacrifice mana, you can sacrifice clues, sacrifice tokens, things like that. Archangel of Tithes, pretty much a guaranteed shoe-in for a mono white deck. Mostly because it's almost unplayable in non-mono white decks because of the 3 white mana required to cast it. But in this case, we can get to 4 mana pretty easily, and it's 4 white mana. So in that case, Archangel of Tithes comes down. It's a 3/5 flyer, and then it's got its abilities, which either forces our opponents to pay mana to attack or pay mana to block. Inspiring Captain, so it's basically exactly the same as Emperor and Tactician. They're exactly the same card, only difference is the mana cost. This is almost better for, what's the word I'm looking for? This is better for non-monocoloured decks. It doesn't really matter. He said you can have either of them in this deck. It doesn't matter at all. They're both commons, they're both 3/3s, and they both give the Anthem +1/+1 to our creatures. But I'm just using this one just because it's Shadows over Innistrad, and this is a Shadows over Innistrad deck. We've then got Retreat to Emeria. Not sure this one's going to stay in here permanently. I think if I had a second copy of Allied Reinforcements, I'd prefer that, but I've just put it in for now as almost a stopgap measure until I find a second copy of this. So basically it's got its landfall ability where you can either you can summon a white core ally, or creatures you control gain +1/+1 until end of turn. Like I said, I think Allied Reinforcements would be better, as I'm fairly sure that generates humans. So it says Knight Ally, but I'm wondering if that's human Knight Allies or not. But I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but I'm fairly sure that is the case. So yeah, because this generates cores, it doesn't synergize up with any of the other human abilities. Tenacity is a great card, so it's an instant Anthem spell, so you can instantly pump everything +1/+1, give them lifelink, and untap those creatures. So you can essentially, you give your creatures, if you're attacking, you can give your creatures +1/+1, you get a hell of a lot of life, and you essentially give them vigilance for the turn by untapping them. You can also use it as a surprise blocking step, so if your opponent has swung in with a lot of creatures, and you know that you can block them with your +1/+1, this works out very, very well. We've got the Allied Reinforcements. This just dumps 2/2 tokens on the board. We've got Gideon, which is, don't really need to explain Gideon. He's a 4 loyalty Planeswalker, which can either become a 5/5 human soldier, or put a 2/2 white knight ally creature token onto the battlefield, or give an emblem which pumps up all our creatures. And then finally we've got Avacyn, so a 5-mana angel, flash, flying and vigilance, so you can flash it in on an opponent's step if you want to. When it is flashed in, all creatures gain indestructible until end of turn, which is quite nice for surprising opponents. Also, when a non-angel creature controls die, we transform Avacyn into Avacyn the Purifier, which is a 6/5 flyer, and it deals 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. Then got 20 planes and the 2 Westvale Abbeys. Reason we've got Westvale Abbey is we can basically put white and black human cleric creature tokens onto the battlefield. Also, if we have 5 creatures that we can sacrifice, we can transform it into Ormondal Profane Prince. I've managed to get this to come down once, and it's absolutely amazing. If you can get Ormondal down, that's pretty much game over. It's flying, lifelink, indestructible, and haste. It's absolutely bonkers. So it'd be nice to see this during one of the gameplay ones. We'll see how it goes. So that's the deck. Let's go play some games. Okay guys, here we are for game number 1. So we're playing the rank 20 Yorick 82, I believe that was. I'll double check in a moment. We can probably keep this hand with the double Expedition Envoy, I think. Also got Westvale Abbey, talk of the devil. So yeah, we rank 20 Yorick 82. Okay, so he's playing white, so we could either be looking at a mirror matchup or maybe like another humans deck with some of the other colours splashed in. So we could do with that second white mana to get the Knight of the White Orchid down, would be quite nice. Also found Avacyn as well, so nice to see some of our fairly powerful cards come out. So yeah, okay, so we've got we've got black-white, so maybe looking at either black-white humans or just black-white life drain, potentially. What do we got? Second Westvale Abbey, okay, that's interesting. We're going to swing with the Expedition Envoy, see if he wants to trade with his Serene Steward, which I highly doubt he will somehow. No, he did not. So we'll just play our second Expedition Envoy. So we need one more mana. One more white mana would be perfect, and that way we can then think about dropping things like Allied Reinforcements, Knight of the White Orchid. We're not in a hurry to get Avacyn. It's more of a later game thing when we want to give all our creatures indestructible, potentially. Okay, what we got here then? Vampire Envoy. Whenever it becomes tapped, you gain 1 life. Okay, that's quite a nice card. Okay, so he's decided not to swing with the Serene Steward there, which is probably sensible. So we have found ourselves a Dauntless Cathar, which is quite nice. So skip attack there and drop you. Like I said, we need that one more white mana to get down Knight of the White Orchid potentially, which could be useful here. If he plays out a 4th mana, we find a... no, that doesn't quite work, unfortunately. So... yeah, because if he even if he puts a 4th mana down and we find another white mana, we won't be able to trigger Knight of the White Orchid's ability, unfortunately. So not sure what to do next turn at the moment. What we got here then? Alyi Eternal Pilgrim. So it's a white-black Death Toucher. Sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to that sacrificed creature's toughness. Sacrifice another creature. Exile target non-land. Okay, so he's going to gain the 1 life there. Activate this ability. So sacrifice another creature. Exile target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only if you have at least 10 life or more than your starting life total. Okay, interesting. Okay, he's also been replaced by the AI. So we've got the AI to face to finish off with. I think that basically means it implies that he's being disconnected rather than... okay, so we've got a 4th mana here. So I'm thinking maybe retreat to Emeria, or do we just go for the allied reinforcements? Knight of the White Orchid won't really work for us, so I'm thinking maybe just allied. Now I'm going to get retreat to Emeria down. Reason being is that if, for example, he does start playing out more mana, we want to save Knight of the White Orchid to basically trigger that extra landfall. So we'll just skip attack here. So this is quite nice synergy with the Vampire Envoy and the Serene Steward. It's like Life Drain is a lot better with the current crop of cards from Shadows of Innistrad, really. Now that's a sorry, Vampire Envoy is in fact Zendikar, not a Zendikar, Oath of the Gatewatch. My bad. This is like a yeah, this is more Oath of the Gatewatch Battle for Zendikar. Okay, so he's actually pumping up his Vampire Envoy quite a bit there. So we need to potentially think about maybe getting like Westvale Abbey flipped or something like that into Ormondal. So we have found Consul's Lieutenant, which is quite nice. Now he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. So if he plays 1 more mana out, we can think about Knight of the White Orchid. Can't really swing, so I'm just going to play out my Thalia's Lieutenant. Yeah, it'd be nice to get Ormondal down, as that would put us right back in the game, basically. This thing has gone crazy. I could almost do with a one of my Angelic Purges would be quite nice as well. So I'm assuming he's going to swing with the Vampire Envoy. So this thing is like kind of just really kicking us in the crotch. Like I said, we could really do with our what's I'm looking for? Angelic Purge, yeah, Angelic Purge, because we can't really do anything about this as it stands. Okay, so we've got Cohort. You gain 2 life. So yeah, we've got even more. Oops, we've got even more life gain from the Ondu War Cleric as well. Okay, we found Kytheon, so not that useful here. We are kind of in a bad way, as we're basically just being quickly beaten down by this Vampire Envoy, unfortunately. So there's not really anything we could have done about that. So the only thing that we could have done would be to have found our what's what I'm looking for? Angelic Purge. So we can pray that we maybe get either one more mana, and hope that we can stay in this long enough to, or like I said, Vampire Envoy would also help. We could basically just get rid of that, and then we could deal with everything else on the ground. It's just this flyer in the air which we've not been able to deal with, and he's now got vigilance as well. Luckily, you can only pump him up once this turn, but we will be dead next turn unless we can remove him, or basically deploy Avacyn to give her indestructible next turn. Okay, that's good. So we can get Knight of the White Orchid down at the very least here. So actually, because he's now got more mana than us. So is he going to swing with Vampire Envoy? I'm assuming he will. So we could really do with our Angelic Purge. So he has swung with the Ondu War Cleric. So I'm going to block with Kytheon and just give him indestructible. So he did tap you down. Okay, so that gets destroyed. But what he's actually done here is that he's actually prevented this from getting pumped up next turn. So we've actually got still 2 turns, thankfully for that. So we only go down to 6 here. So we've basically got 2 turns to find something to keep us in the game. Dauntless Cathar does not help. So we're just going to play Knight of the White Orchid, which is going to get us that additional mana. Grab you. There we go. Oh yeah, we've also got Retreat to Emeria, haven't we? So could give all my creatures +1/+1 until end of turn. Or do I get the core token? Yeah, we'll get the +1/+1. Why not? Now, could we swing here? Just thinking about this. Is it worth swinging? I mean, I could kill most of his creatures here, but that would then leave me vulnerable. I'm going to swing here. Reason being is it will flip Kytheon, so I'm just trying to think about what that could mean. So is he going to block? I'm assuming he will. Okay, so he has blocked that one and blocked my one there. So you're going to get regenerated. So we just lost one of our Thalia's lieutenants there. So I'm just trying to think here. Can we survive this turn? Either untap one of these and give them indestructible, or I just killed myself by doing that. I think I may have just killed myself by doing that, actually. That was maybe a bit silly of me. Unless I cause him to attack Gideon instead. And then I would take... How much would I take? I'd take 5 to my face, which would be exactly the same. So yeah, cause you to attack Gideon instead. Yeah, because untapping one of my creatures would not have helped, basically, because... So I'm guessing he's going to swing with all here. That one has to attack Gideon, and then these 3 will be swinging at my face. And I can block one of the Serene Stewards. This is assuming that he will actually swing with the Serene Stewards. Okay, no, I'm dead now. Okay, that's it. That's game over. So never mind. Let's move on to game number 2. Okay, guys, here we are for game number 2. Well, that was a weird name. I'll have to double check that in a moment. So how are we going to play here? Okay, this is a really good opening hand. We've got Expedition Envoy, Hanweir Militia Captain, an Angelic Purge, and a Tenacity for later on. So that's not too bad. Yeah, we're playing the rank 11 Hype HV Pelagia, something like that. Whatever. So yeah, we're down to rank 14, which is not the best. Still early days though. Haven't really had much time to play lately, so I haven't really had much time to rank up. Okay, it looks like we could be playing red deck wins here. Could be interesting. Okay, we've also got an Always Watching, so I'll play you this turn, won't swing with you, and then just skip attack. There we go, as he would. I mean, we could have swung there. I doubt he would have blocked, because he wouldn't have been able to kill the Hanweir Militia Captain, but I'd still prefer to have the Always Watching deployed next turn. Yeah, looks like we're playing red deck wins here. So it's mono red versus mono white. See how it fares. The new mono white versus the old mono red. Minus Foundry Street Denizens if they decided that it was too OP for the meta. Although I never found that Foundry Street Denizens was the game winner in red deck wins anyway. Ah, you poo. No, not my Hanweir Militia Captain, you git. Okay, so we're going to play out our Always Watching here. And just swing for 3. There we go. Yeah, I can't believe that. Fiery Impulse on our Hanweir Militia Captain. Tenacity not really being that useful right now. I've managed to find both copies of it in our first couple of cards, which is not particularly nice. I'm assuming he's going to swing this turn, or is he going to... Yeah, he's going to swing. Okay. Skip attack. We are currently outpacing him. Depends what he plays this turn, though, if anything. Okay, so he's played Chandra, so that almost might be worth Angelic Purging. If we find a 4th mana, I will definitely Angelic Purge. Westvale Abbey is pretty sweet, so yeah, I'm going to go Angelic Purge one of my planes, I think, to get rid of Chandra. So exile you, tap you down, and then sacrifice one of the white manas. There we go. So we'll push through another 3 damage, take him down to 14. Okay, we've got a Coom Firebird, which is not particularly nice. So he's going to be swinging for 4 this turn. Yep. We're obviously going to be skipping blocking here. He's drawn a lot of mana for a red deck wins. Kind of annoying. Oh, now we find the Aspiring Captain. So we have to swing for 3 here. So we can take him down to 11. And we're going to go down to 10. So he's going to catch up in terms of the race this turn. We need a 4th mana to really get our Inspiring Captain down. Would be quite nice. Or the Tenacity, either or. Okay, so we're now drawing, although he does have the... Oops, he's found a Flaring Flamekin. It's nice for him. And he's also got a Bellows Lizard. Okay, interesting. So we need some way of getting rid of a Coom Firebird. Consul's Lieutenant doesn't really help. So play you out. At least that gives us a way of dealing with the Goblin Arsonist finally. Yeah, so he's going to swing for 3 with the Coom Firebird. So that was a really good play from him. These have been some really bad matches for me. I've just not gotten lucky with my draws. And he's got a Twin Bolt. Of course he's got a Twin Bolt. Why wouldn't he have a Twin Bolt? Yeah, I've just not been that lucky. Okay, we found Kytheon, but that's not really that useful right now. We still need that 4th mana really for Inspiring Captain. We're dead in 3 turns at this point, so... we need Inspiring Captain or Tenacity basically this turn. Next turn, sorry. Tenacity might almost be better just because it's going to get us all the lifelink as well. Okay, so he's got Abbot of Carol Keep, although it's not going to work, mate. This thing is like broken to all hell, so you might find that, but has he actually managed to catch it? If he has, I'll be damn impressed. So I've seen people basically saying that they've not been able to play the Abbot of Carol Keep's card at all. So he's swung for 3. Looks like he's not been able to play it for some reason. Yeah, I've heard Abbot of Carol Keep is just completely broken, so we'll skip blocking that. So we're praying for the 4th mana here. 4th mana, come on. Yeah, it's gone to Rens. Yeah, no, he's actually managed to be able to play Fiery Impulse, so we're basically dead. Wow, this has not been a good showing for the humans. And Thalia's Lieutenant is not helpful at all, so I think that's game over. So yeah, let's move on to game number 3. Okay guys, here we are for the final game of today. I completely missed who we were playing as I was looking at something on my tablet at the time. We're not keeping that hand because we've got no plays. We're going to have to keep this one, I feel. We've got the Militia Captain, so yeah, we're playing the rank 14 Shisha, something like that. So yeah, third mana and we're suddenly looking pretty good here. We've got the Dauntless Cathar, we've got Pious Evangel, we've got Angelic Purge. Let's see what colour he drops. White, okay. So I'll probably go for Hanweir Militia Captain here, as this is implying that he's not got too much, which is quite nice. So probably drop Pious Evangel next turn, or Dauntless Cathar, either or. Maybe probably Pious Evangel to be fair though. If I see red, nope, do not see red. No, we got Reef Soul though. Come on! Everybody hates my Militia Captains today, don't they? My poor Militia Captain. Actually, we're going to go for Bygone Bishop here. So in hindsight, Militia Captain there wasn't the best play, but you know, we had to do something. At least we've got the Bygone Bishop to start investigating for Pious Evangel. Any clues we generate are going to be great for Angelic Purge. Means we don't have to sacrifice our mana like we have had to do in the last couple of games. Okay, so he's found a third. Okay, so he's got his own Hanweir Militia Captain. You git. At least I've got the Angelic Purge for it. So see how you like it when somebody shits all over your Hanweir Militia Captain. So yeah, I'm going to easily clue on it probably. And we gain a life. And then we're just going to swing. Oops, a daisy. Come on, Bygone Bishop. There we go. So next turn, I'm potentially going to Angelic Purge you, especially if it looks like he's going to like drop, like, I don't know, maybe like 3 creatures or something like that. So it looks like he's maybe gone for like white-black humans, which is interesting. It's another one of the... Okay, so he's just going to get rid of my Bygone Bishop. And drop a Forsaken Sanctuary. He's going to swing. He is not. Oh, excellent. So yeah, we've got another Angelic Purge here. So I'm just going to get rid of you. And get rid of the clue. And then just swing with my Militia Captain. Could I have no, I could not have sacrificed my Bygone Bishop there, I don't think. Just checking that I couldn't have actually dropped it and then... Okay, so we've got... what's he called? Kalitas. Traitor of Get. So if we draw another mana, I'm going to Angelic Purge it. If not, I'm going to Allied Reinforcements maybe, and then Angelic Purge it next turn. Okay, never mind. We found what we wanted, so... Kill you. And then... Do I... That doesn't really matter too much. I'm not going to be able to play out either of these this turn anyway, so I may as well get rid of you. Very nice. So we can... I'm probably going to drop Allied Reinforcements down next turn. Puts 4 power on the board, which is quite nice. And also gains us 2 life, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. Okay, so he's got to read the bones, so he's drawing some cards. So yeah, not seen too many creatures so far apart from the Kalitas. And he's going to Reef Soul my Pious Evangel. Okay, you do that. So I may just Allied Reinforcements anyway, just to dump 4 power on the board. Yep, especially as we've got the potential Thalia's Lieutenant coming up in a couple of turns. So if I... Are they humans? Nope, they're not humans. They're just Knight Allies, unfortunately. So they don't get the Thalia's Lieutenant bonus. So it wasn't really... It was worth playing them out now rather than later. So yeah, they don't count as humans, unfortunately, which is annoying. But that's something to bear in mind, that these Knight Ally tokens don't count as humans, which I would have thought they would have done, but unfortunately they don't. They're just apparently just... They have no species, apparently. So what's Mr. Shisha doing this turn, then? So he's got an Isolated Chapel come down. If I got one more mana, I'm tempted to drop either whichever way around would be better for this. Okay, so do I go for Dauntless Cathar or do I go for Thalia's Lieutenant? I'm going to try it. I don't know whether or not this is going to put the +1/+1 counter on that at all. It did not. Okay, so we're just going to play Dauntless Cathar on that next turn. Just an experiment. Just an experiment. Okay, so he's got Avacyn. Okay, that's annoying. I could do with an Avacyn myself. So he's going to be able to block one of our Knight tokens. So we'll push through 2 damage, take him down to 10. And I'm just going to play out Dauntless Cathar, which will pump up our Thalia's Lieutenant to a 2/2. So we're all out now. We're relying on the top deck at this point. Okay, so he's got a Knight of the White Orchid. Won't get him a bonus mana. We could do with a Knight of the White Orchid. Would get us a 2/2 first striker, and can also do with an Avacyn ourselves. That would be quite nice as well. Avacyn. Inspiring Captain. Does that have Indestructible? He does not have Indestructible. Tempted to just swing with, say, for example, Dauntless Cathar. Or just swing with everything. What could he block? He would only be able to block 3 damage, so I'd push through 7. I think that's worth it, really. Plus, he can only actually kill the Knight ally with Avacyn. Oh, what's he got? What's he got? I'm guessing Anguished and Masking? Okay, so Dauntless Cathar. Then what's he going to do? So he's going to block the... So he's blocked the Knight ally. He's blocked with the Knight of the White Orchid. So that's going to flip. So... Actually, it didn't flip. Okay. Why didn't it flip? Oh no, it did flip, and there we go. So then it's going to do 3 damage and everything goes. Okay, so that was actually really horrible. So he's now got a 6/5 Avacyn the Purifier on the board, and I've still got to take him down by 7 health, and I have no idea how I'm going to do that. So yeah, this deck was working really well right up until I recorded this video. It's my usual luck, you know. I start recording and you know what? I top deck whatever. The only thing that can save me now is basically an Angelic, a third Angelic Purge to actually exile Avacyn. And he's also found a Kytheon as well. So yeah, we're basically dead, because even if we find an Angelic Purge, we can only actually yeah, so that just went horribly this game. Pious Evangel does not help, so that is game over. Ugh, that was just... Ugh, I feel filthy after this video. It just did not go well. We're going to open some boosters though. I'm going to get some more practicing with this deck. I mean, it was going really well. I won like 2-3 games, like literally before I started recording, won 3 games in a row, and then, you know, proceeded to lose 3 games in a row. So, whatever. Okay, so we've got an Oath of Jace, very nice. A Bonesaw, Embodiment of Fury. A Void Grafter, enters the battlefield. Another target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Okay, what else are we going to get? Matter Reshapers, quite a nice Eldrazi. Shoulder to Shoulder, Ruining Their Wake. I like the art on that. Search your library for a basic land card and reveal it. You may put that card onto the battlefield tap if you control a land named Waste. Fair enough, so it's a nice ramp card for Eldrazi decks. Immobilizer Eldrazi. Each creature with toughness greater than its power can't block this turn. Fair enough. Okay, we just buy 1 more pack. Got over 50% of the set collected, which is pretty cool. Let's open this one up. Kozilek's Pathfinder is a 5/5 and target creature can't block this turn. Drana's Chosen, good for the vampires, which I'm definitely going to be trying after I finish with these humans. Balothnol is a nice zombie creature, and I think we've pretty much seen everything apart from that. Okay, so sorry about the my terrible luck today, but yeah, it just happens sometimes. So I'll leave it here for now. As always, guys, don't forget to comment and like if you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.